When he turned his back from shoulder to shoulder, it looked like as wide as the tailgate of a truck.
And just darkness, literal darkness, just came like all over, just all over me except where I was standing.
This thing let out the most blood-curdling, mind-blowing, spine-tingling scream that you've ever heard in your life, and it cut through me like a knife.
And I knew that they were going to take me. I just knew it. And then the next thing I can remember is being levitated.
Well, when I look in there, I see two big eyes staring back at me.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for the believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. Join us, and we'll go face to face with what goes bump in the night. Hey there, believers. Got a great episode for you today. I have the pleasure of bringing back on Tyler from Docside Media, the guys who brought you Conscious Contact, the alien doc that we sat there and talked about. It's now available anywhere. It's streaming all over like Amazon Prime Video and stuff like that. Great documentary. They just came out, or they're coming out. Not released to the public yet, although some people may have gotten a little glimpse. A Sasquatch documentary. Yeah. Oh yeah. Big stuff. Things that you have never heard before are going to be discussed on here on this documentary. They have some witnesses, they have some historians, they have some like folklore kind of storyteller kind of things. They have a wide range of testimonials. Super interesting. Like I said, heard things I've never heard before, but I'm just looking forward to getting Tyler on here and letting him tell us more about it and the process of, and maybe we can get him to open up about personal experiences. All right, let's bring him on. While we've got a minute, I sent the invite out to Tyler, and I'm sure he'll hop on here in just a couple minutes. But while I have a second, let me talk to you about these 5-star reviews I've been getting on like Apple Podcasts and such. First of all, I greatly appreciate these five-star ratings and reviews. Guys, when you send them to me or when you post it, I don't have a way to respond to you directly. So, you know, some people are telling me stories or encounters, and I don't have a way to respond. But let me read this one off here. It says, 5-star, I'm not very religious, but I enjoy you talking about the Bible and religious aspects of these encounters. Religion or not, I have faith. I'd much rather believe my encounters are from a religious or biblical realm than scary monsters of some kind. I'd also like to think encounters that get scary can be pushed away with faith. Without it, the world can be really scary. I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing and how you do it. Peace. And I want to say thank you very much for that kind review. That was from Tabeka? We'll see. Next, happy second anniversary from A Phoenix. This one was back in May. It says, I want to wish you a happy anniversary. 2 years ago, when you were starting this endeavor, would you have thought you were going to still be going and reaching as many people as you are? No, I did not think that. I have enjoyed listening to you, and from the beginning, I've seen how you grow every new show and how you're able to be open-minded and let your faith in Jesus Christ known, and your prayer at the ending is amazing for those to know him. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but thank you for that one. Oh, here we go. Hold on one second. We'll go ahead and bring Tyler onto the show.
Should we start?
Sure.
We can.
Yeah,
Oh.
go ahead. Go for it.
Bo, we are back. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, thanks for reaching back out to me, man.
Yeah. So I'm
And by
Chris.
us, Chris, you mean Docside Media.
Well,
right?
I was
the
I was,
dopest
yeah.
documentary production company this side of the Milky Way. Dig it, tug it, dag, nabba, let's go.
I like how that tagline thing was never ever like run by me. It's just you just took the ball and you ran with it.
Well, here's what's up. Yeah, I mean, dude, we started shooting videos like right away as we were
True.
logging all the interviews for Conscious Contact Full Disclosure. I had to come up with something just out in the field, and I was like, dude, I dig it. It's got good flow. I guess I didn't run that by you. I run everything
It's fine.
by
You know what? It's fine. I'm happy with it. And Tyler, I'm excited to be back because we're talking about our new movie, which we haven't gotten to talk about very much. I think we only talked about it maybe once on another podcast, maybe twice.
Two.
But we've been talking so much about Conscious Contact Full Disclosure. We were even on here before talking about that movie, which was our Alien documentary, which is out. It's been out for a month now. I think it's been received pretty well. So has The Ghosts of Gettysburg, which was actually surprising how well that was received. Honestly, we kind of thought, Bo, that the Alien documentary would get more exposure, but it turns out our ghost documentary, The Ghosts of Gettysburg, kind of blew up on Amazon for a while there.
Really?
Super exciting. Yeah, it was
Dude,
on
61 reviews on Amazon.
Nice.
But you know the metrics, dog.
Oh, yeah.
1 out of every what? 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100 million? Very
Right.
few people take the time to give us, the number of stars or even write a review. Dude, I'm very outgoing and motivated. I don't know if I've ever reviewed anything. Not a star review. I haven't. So it's just dope. Chris, I'll let you get back to it, but that's sick, man. People they've been loving the docs.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird though, I will say, because like all of our energy, it felt like was put towards Conscious Contact Full Disclosure. I love that movie. I really like The Ghosts of Gettysburg too, so I was really surprised when that one blew up a bit. And this whole time, I think Tyler posted like yesterday, or he sent me like the wording to post on social media where it's like, up 1 week till Secrets of the Sasquatch comes out. And I'm like, I haven't even thought about this because, we sent the deliverables into the distributor, I don't know, like 70 days ago. And we've been talking so much about the other two documentaries. So it's kind of fun now to go back to Secrets of the Sasquatch because I'm already, in the backside of Docside Media, already almost done editing our fourth documentary, which is in plain sight, the intelligence community and UFOs. So all my attention's been on that. So it's just weird to come on these things and like, oh yeah, man, we got Secrets of the Sasquatch.
And not only that, Chris, but what are we doing July 9th to July 10th? Oh, that's right. We're doing we're camp out at a haunted cemetery in the ghost town of Pandemonium, Pennsylvania. Yeah, bro. So, Bo, we got the next one we'll be sending you here momentarily. Ghost in the Graveyard, pure pandemonium. We're doing a camp out. We got a bunch of people. It's going to be nasty. And this is what's up, Bo.
Yeah.
If you're free July 9th, you're more than welcome to come.
Yes. That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
July 9th.
Hey, Bo, have you ever done anything like that? Like gone on to a alleged haunted area and done a camp out or anything, a kind of investigation?
I've done a little ghost hunting, but it wasn't to like a known location, like, hey, kind of anything that has any kind of a tourist attraction or anything like that. I'm actually planning to go check out a couple places this summer, kind of local, within an hour or so of the house. There's some state parks I want to check out that have some activity on them.
That's cool. Have you seen anything when you were out before?
Nothing remarkable. I had because it was back then, it was like 2009, 2010, 2008, somewhere through there. I had all the typical ghost hunters equipment, like the EMF detector and the digital recorders and stuff like that, trying to catch EMP and or EVP, not EMP. I don't want to catch one of those.
No.
But I caught like little glimmering lights, sometimes.
Yeah.
I've caught more EVPs doing this show than I have
That's
ever ghost
interesting.
hunting. Yeah, I've had several people you know, hey, listen to such and such minute on this episode, you know, what is that? And yeah, sometimes when you talk about spooky stuff happens, man, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting when you dive. What's cool about like this kind of stuff, the digital recording, is when you load it in like a DAW or like a digital audio workspace, and you can see the waveform.
Yes.
And like if you see like, wait, we weren't talking. What is this? Like little, you know what I mean? That visual of it. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, makes it a lot easier to find.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So yeah, no, we have that coming up, which is going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We have a whole bunch of interesting people that are be coming along with us. And we're going to be doing a bunch of investigation stuff and, you know, bringing a Ouija board. You can do a seance, going to do all that kind of stuff. Probably play the game Ghosts in the Graveyard.
In the haunted,
Yeah, because we've heard a lot of stuff about this location. And Tyler went there and did an interview with someone. And it's an interesting place. So it'll be fun. It's gonna be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's all serendipitous that it all fell into place. We were actually doing a screening of the Ghost of Gettysburg, and the medium from that mentioned, "Hey, have you guys ever heard of this Pioneer Cemetery in the ghost town of Pandemonium?" No, we have now. And dude, yeah, I don't know. Within a couple weeks, I'm like, "Oh, Chris, dude, Ghosts in the Graveyard, pure Pandemonium. What do you think?" He's like, yeah, I like it. So as we've been finishing up this other stuff, we got around to making the flyer here and getting, dude, I can't believe we're like a little over a week away from going to do that. I'm pumped because I went and interviewed this Marlin cat, and yeah, dude, it's just, it's a crazy place, dog. I interviewed him in the cemetery. All right. And I don't want to mess these numbers up, man, but like, oh man, I don't want to mess the numbers up. But like the town might have ended in like say 1912 or something. I mean, it's over 100 years that it's been abandoned. Right. But this freaking cemetery, like I asked Marlon, who I was in, I'm like, dude, this like seems somewhat well kept. Like there's a little bit of vegetation, but not super high. I'm like, yeah, if you come later in the summer or at a different time, like, is it all overgrown? He's like, man, I've been coming here, I forget if it's for 10 years. He's like, it's the same height every single time.
That's crazy.
Like the vegetation doesn't grow. And yeah, dude, just wait till you see the footage of this place. It's just, man, it's a pretty little cemetery out in the middle of state forest. Like out in the middle of nowhere, no cell phone signal. Dude, you turn off this road and it's, dude, it's a few miles back. On like just a little gravel road. It's nasty, but we'll hop off that because we can.
Well, I was going to say though, I mean, I think we're lucky though, Tyler, just considering where we live in Pennsylvania, you know, the history here, there's so much old towns, old buildings. Like the house I live in was built in 1927. And I know that because I go up into my attic and on the wall, the plaster wall, or maybe it's concrete, I don't know. It has, they wrote their name and they wrote the year the house was built. So it's so cool. Like I was driving my daughter to Narberth, which is outside of Philadelphia, but it's like an old city town because like the trees are all huge and over like real old. My daughter's like, how old are those trees? I'm like, probably like 100, 200 years old. I don't know. There's so much history near us. That's why we could go to Gettysburg so easily. We could go to this Pandemonium. I mean, you've been to Centralia. There's like so many interesting places around us to explore. Also went to Western Pennsylvania, Tyler, where did a little Sasquatch hunting. And that's where we did some filming for Secrets of the Sasquatch, which is really what we're here to talk about tonight, Bo, because that's coming out next week. Had you had the chance to check it out?
I did. I watched about half of it, and then, you know, life happened, and then today I watched the other half. So yeah, I finally got to get it all in. Fantastic documentary, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I don't know where you find these guests, you know, these people to do the testimonials and stuff, but they're great. They're like naturals on camera. You can tell, like, they're comfortable talking about this. Like, they believe what they're saying. So it comes off like, you know, it's a more believable story, you know.
And that's all a testament to Tyler, I think. With him, he has a way of getting people comfortable and bringing them out of their shell and making them, because it is a hard thing sometimes to talk about this subject matter because there is a stigmatism to a lot of it. You don't want to sound like a person, you know what I mean? You don't want to sound like a crazy person a lot of times. But these people felt comfortable enough to relay their experiences, which is so cool. It makes my job, I do all the editing, so much easier because it's like, you can just tell like when people are passionate or when they like have this authentic story they're telling, and the way that they are comfortable on camera makes it so much easier to bring their stories to life in a compelling way, I think. So.
Well, and I think we're just fortunate. Like, dude, I appreciate the compliment, Chris. I don't know, maybe some of it's luck because here's what's up. Like, Chris and I, we've been doing this filming thing long enough. And because we've been started off teaching ourselves, Chris has a podcast show, all these things. We've done short films. Like, we've had to act. And dude, we know how hard it like everything in your body screams, don't be yourself. Don't be yourself. You cannot be yourself on screen. And that's why everybody just comes off looking like, oh, dude, they look anxious. A little something is off. I can't put my finger on it, but it doesn't look natural, right? And so, dude, Matt, bro, that's a super compliment. And Chris, thank you for your compliment. But it's just awesome. Like, when I get home and look at this footage, like scrub it and send it to Chris and maybe cut a trailer quick or a little teaser just to get people like keep the momentum going. I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, it is so awesome to see these people just share their stories and be genuine. And like, dude, what I love is the gentleman, Randy Smith, and it's in the trailer, I believe, and it's certainly in the doc, but he talks about like, oh, I always said, like, if I ever see a Sasquatch, I'm going to run right at it. And dude, I camped out with Randy in like mid-20s, it's freezing cold. Randy is a woodsman. Randy is a hunter, dude. I can just tell those types of people. Yeah. Like, if a nuke gets dropped, I'm going to find Randy because he will be able to keep me alive. Randy's the guy. He's like, oh, dude, we got to move these logs like in the fire. And he's just picking up logs, dude, with his smolder, like hot logs, flaming embers. He just picks them up barehanded. That's the type of tough guy he is. So like when he makes these statements about like, oh, dude, if I saw a Sasquatch, I'd run at it. And then he sees one and he just froze. I'm like, dude, that's crazy because I would put my money on him all day, every day. That dude, if he saw a Sasquatch, he would run. And I would put my money on him all day, every day. Like, he just knows, oh, dude, that's a deer running through. Oh, that's a fox. Yeah. Oh, that's a squirrel. Oh, that's a turkey. Like, he knows all these things. Dog, we're doing this camp out. It's like 10:30. It's after 10 at night. I mean, it's pitch black out. We hear a gunshot go off. It's out in the like boonies, out in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, oh, so-and-so just shot a deer. Man, I feel like I need to go up and help him gut it. Like, dude, that's the type of guy he is. I'm like, wait, what, bro? There's a gunshot going off not far from here. And who has, like, I don't look forward to gutting anything. I've never gotten anything worth gutting. Maybe a fish once, but it's like, he's like, oh, dude, no, that's what you do up here, man. You go help gut the deer, and maybe they give you a little bit of meat. I'm like, wow. So, yeah, it's awesome to find these people.
And that's the kind of person you want on something like this, right? Because you want somebody who's able to just rule out if I go into the woods, every freaking noise I hear, I think it's probably a bear about to eat me because I'm not a woodsman. I'm not comfortable out there. Randy just can recognize everything. That's what makes it so much more interesting. The fact that this dude has grown up in the woods and knows everything, and yet he believes in the Sasquatch. He believes he's seen that. It adds a certain level of credibility for me. I'm again, I said this, I think the first time I was on your show, Bo, but I'm the much more skeptical person of Docside Media, I'd say. But I like to keep an open mind about people's experiences. And so if it was somebody who's from the city, never been in the woods, they went out the woods one weekend, they say they saw a Sasquatch, I'd be like, yeah, you probably saw a raccoon or something, dude. Like, you're not living in that world. Right. But Randy, that dude, that is his world, and he believes. So I did have a question for you though, Bo. Like, what's your thoughts on Sasquatch? What's your experiences and feelings?
Oh yeah, man. That's odd because I had those same questions for you guys, but I'll start.
We'll do a round. We'll do a round table
We'll
here.
do a round table. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a hardcore believer in Sasquatch.
Okay.
Absolutely am. I live in coal country, West Virginia, like down southern West Virginia. It sounds to me like Randy would fit in perfectly around here. That's just how it is here. You know, pretty much everybody hunts, fishes, camps, you know, small communities. We help each other out. So I can relate to Randy wholeheartedly. But yeah, Bigfoot. There's been tons of sightings. People talk about it. They don't report it to anything like BFRO or any groups like that.
Yeah.
What it is, I'm not sure anymore. Before I started podcasting, I thought that Bigfoot was open and shut case. It's Gigantopithecus. It's a large ape. It made its way across, you know, some land bridge X amount of time ago, and it's just been really good at hiding, you know, and they're all up in the Pacific Northwest, maybe a few stragglers out in Appalachian Mountains somewhere. That's what I believed, you know, but the more I do the show, about 6 months, no, the squirrel season before I started the show, about 9 months ago, 8 or 9 months before I started the show, I had my own Sasquatch experience. Actually, it was it's not really too important, but it's 2018 September.
Okay.
I was hunting and I wound up, long story short, had something thrown at me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
My back was towards a hill, like directly on a hillside, and I heard a noise. I looked back about the time I hear this thud, and there's a branch coming, like helicoptering down the hill.
What?
Yeah. So one, if it had just fallen out of a tree or whatever, it would just dead fall. For it to have a horizontal, you know, like a helicopter.
Got to snap its wrist.
Yeah, something had to sidearm that bad boy. So I don't know what it was. It fell in line with some noises, some things that had been going on. I wound up being on Finding Bigfoot over that. They had this big return special a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that.
That's awesome. You were on it though. That's cool.
Yeah, they brought me on it. They filmed it here in West Virginia. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, you know, for me personally. I haven't laid eyes on one. I've heard some crazy stuff within about half a mile of where I had that experience at hunting. So I do believe they're here, and I believe that they are probably flesh and blood. I don't know. I know there's a huge spiritual aspect, and there's some things that I can't explain, but there's something going on, man.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, no, I'm interested in the fact that you said you originally thought it was like a Gigantopithecus kind of thing, and then what did your opinion change to? Or just are you more open to other possibilities?
I'm way more open to other possibilities. I'm open to. I know it sounds wild, but you know that's what we do on these shows, right? It's I'm open to a little bit of the interdimensional aspect.
Interesting. Yeah, we touch on that.
I hate to throw everything under that category of interdimensional because it seems like you can just write everything off with that. You know,
sure.
If you can't explain it, oh, it's interdimensional. But I don't know how you'll have a set of tracks that just stop in the middle of an open field. You know, where do they go? You know what I mean? Yep. It's like, so there's some big questions out there, and then people seeing them go into portals, people seeing UFO activity, people seeing lights in the woods with them. There's something else, something a little extra going on, I think, with it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
I was just going to say, yeah, no, definitely. Before starting Docside Media, I would have just, assumed, oh, man, it's probably, I think there's a good possibility there's some sort of large hairy hominid that hasn't been discovered that, can just stay undetected. It's like, dude, I've been deer hunting for, I don't know, 20 years, bro. Never got a deer. So I know how hard it is sitting out like and I'm just a different grade hunter woodsman than you, bro. You know what I mean? I can just tell. I'm not at the same level. But either way, you'd think, oh, dude, you go sit out in the woods for, you know, from before sun up till after sundown for 20 years. You'll probably get a deer.
Right.
And it's like, dude, I can probably count, maybe like going on to two hands, how many deer I've seen. Right? It's just they're elusive, and it's not that they're not there. It's that they're just staying just out of my range. Right? They can sense me, and they don't need to roll up through. Yeah, dude. So could it? Yeah, I would have thought, it's something like that can, just remaining undetected, save for a few rare sightings. And, but since starting Docside Media, man, I'm on board with you. Definitely more open to the interdimensional. I thought it was neat for your listeners who had listened or seen Conscious Contact Full Disclosure. And we had Sue Walker in there, who's a psychic,
Yes.
medical intuitive, clairvoyant, and telepath. And so we interviewed her again for this documentary. And it was cool that she brought some of those ideas into the doc and stuff that was passed on to her, right, through the Ponte or through telepathically communicating with Sasquatch. So yeah. Chris, what about you, bro? Where are you at on interdimensional
like I said, I'm more skeptical. I lean towards more the Gigantopithecus route, and not necessarily that it is a Gigantopithecus, but that's interesting to me because that literally is a Bigfoot. Like if you put that creature in front of you right now, everyone would go, that's a freaking Bigfoot. But in reality, it's a scientifically classified creature that is extinct called the Gigantopithecus. Now, there's so many places in the earth we haven't been to, we haven't seen, we haven't discovered. There's so many creatures that still live on this planet that are alien to us, so many under the water. I'm sure there's places, deep forests. Like we all think we go to the woods, but there are places on this world where there are woods, and there is nothing around for hundreds of miles. And like Tyler was saying, one dude going out there might see a squirrel, raccoon, stuff like that. But there's so many other creatures that are there that we are unaware of at times because that's their environment. They grow up there. They evolve for that environment. They have the senses to know when there's something coming close. They have the ability to hide. And so for me, if this creature exists, I think it's a very distinct possibility that it is something that's just evolved and become super, the ability to live in this environment way better than we have because of the way we live our lives. So I don't know. That's why I like Tom Carey. His portion of the documentary really spoke to me about that stuff because he's a very well-read man. He's very intelligent. He's a, anthropologist. He believes in Sasquatch and he goes that route. The Gigantopithecus. So I don't know. The interdimensional stuff, it's interesting. I'll say that. I need more proof. Like I would literally need to see that. Although like what you were saying, Bo, with like the footprints and stuff, like I've seen that stuff, which is so far, like how do you explain that? I can't.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, your pea-sized brain probably can't even comprehend interdimensional. Like I can't.
True. No.
Because here's what's up. You're like, oh, if I saw that, then I would maybe believe it. Well, Chris, were you not just out on vacation with your family? And what did you see?
Oh, what
did you see, Mr. Skeptical? You tell Bo and his Bump Podcast Nation what you saw.
So I went on vacation outside of Pittsburgh. It's a national park called Raccoon State Park. Mm-hmm. Western Pennsylvania, right on the border of Ohio. But in Pittsburgh, there's a couple airports, I think. And there's always airplanes. Every freaking half an hour, there's a plane going up and down, up and down. So we're driving. I forget where we were going. I think we were going to a museum in Pittsburgh or something like that. My wife was driving. I'm in the passenger seat. My two kids are in the back. we come around this turn and I'm looking out the passenger window and I see a plane, and it is like nose, like, I don't know, down about 20, 30 degrees. Like it's going in for a landing kind of deal. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, is that like a blow up balloon, like ad type thing? Cause it was suspended in air, not moving. And then we curve around it on the road. And it's like I'm looking at like a 3D model of something. Like, you know, like you see like a 3D model and you like twist around it.
Yeah.
And like you could see all the sides. And that's what I was doing. And it was suspended in the air, not moving at all. And it was big. Like it wasn't a really small plane. Like it was big. And my wife was driving and we go and then there's trees. And I'm like, I got out my phone way too late. And I'm like, Amy, did you see that? And she's like, see what? I'm like, there was a freaking plane like just stuck in the air. And then my kids are in the backseat. I'm like, girls, what did you guys see? And they're like, there's this plane. It didn't move. And so then I got on Facebook or whatever, and I messaged Tyler. I'm like, dude, we might need to stop doing these documentaries. I just saw a freaking plane like stuck in the air. It was like, it was trippy. I don't know how to describe it. Like it broke my brain for a second. And Tyler did a little research and he found like, oh, there's this Cessna that can kind of like hover in air or something. I have no idea.
Headwinds, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it
you're
was.
At zero ground speed.
Yeah, but it was, and if that's the case, maybe it is. I don't know, but it was super weird.
Well, how big of a plane is this? I mean, because a Cessna is not a big plane.
It looked big to me. It didn't look like a 747 like commercial airliner, but it looked big. So I don't know.
Right.
And it wasn't that far off the ground.
All right, well, bro, did it have a propeller on the front, or did it have jet engines on the side?
I don't remember at this point. That's the problem. I should have got a freaking video of it. Amy, I was like gonna get a picture, and Amy's like, "Why are you gonna get a picture? Like, no one's gonna be able to tell that it's not moving in a picture." I was
Maybe
like, it's pretty smart.
Maybe you got a glimpse of a glitch in the Matrix. You know, that's another.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Honestly, it was so weird.
Interdimensional, Chris.
Yeah,
you don't believe in interdimensional? I mean, the simulation.
Yeah.
You know, ETs, creator of the universe, whatever you want to call it, dude. They're trying to be like, yo, dude, here's
maybe
interdimensional for your brain.
That jet was just buffering, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Taking a second.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't rule out. Yeah, UFOs are just cursor, like a mouse cursor, right, being moved across the screen. I would not rule that out. I keep my mind open to all the possibilities.
Like, I mean, the most intelligent minds in the world say that we are possibly living in a simulation. Like, probably living in a simulation. So who knows?
Yeah, I think Elon Musk, I thought it was a few years back, like 5 or 6. It was like, thought there was like a 1 in a million chance we're not living in a simulation, right? 1 in a million that we're not in a sim. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane to think about. That somebody. And who knows, like a lot of people put people on pedestals. So whatever, everybody can have their own opinion on him, but it's just crazy. A lot of people can get behind what he says, and he leads people to go accomplish, great things. So I don't know. That's crazy.
It's definitely interesting. I'll grant you that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is interesting. Very much so. So, okay. So you're kind of on the fence about what it is, if it's there. Mm-hmm. Tyler, you're down for it. It could be anything. Open-minded on it.
Yeah, and I'm open on like Sue brings up, and I don't want to spoil the whole doc, but I think people that are into Sasquatch and Bigfoot, I think they'll enjoy Secrets of the Sasquatch. That there's maybe some new information.
Yeah.
So whether you believe it or not is completely up to you. These people are genuine and have had these experiences and sharing their stories. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully it at least provides some food for thought to just get people thinking certain ways. So when Sue's talking about, that these Sasquatch have been here for millions of years and they've traveled, right? Interplanetary, like great distances, and that their bodies are well suited for it, and just all these different things. It's like, oh dude, like, well, yeah, that could explain a lot of different things, with like you talking about footprints disappearing, and just the odd sightings, and sometimes in videos where they like a mist or figure kind of appears. It's
Millions
interdimensional
of years.
extraterrestrial.
That's crazy. I mean, like I said, I was on vacation. We went to the Carnegie National History Museum, and it's tons of dinosaur exhibits. Just think about, like, dinosaurs lived so much longer than humanity. Like, can you, you know what I mean? Like hundreds of millions of years.
Yeah.
That's insane. And to think, like, well, maybe there was a creature around for millions of years. Like, humanity hasn't been around that long. Just think of, like, the state of humanity. If we lived for 1 million years, everything would be so much different, unrecognizable. So a creature, if it was that long, lived that long, yeah.
You know, that could
And back to the
explain.
dinosaurs, how crazy is it that everybody in the universe, well, maybe not in the universe, but on Earth, if you said, oh, dude, I see it, or, draw me a T-Rex, draw me a Brachiosaurus.
Yeah.
Everybody is drawing scales, reptile.
Yeah.
And now what are we being told? Oh, no, dude, they all had feathers.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? How does that not shift reality, right? Like, I mean, we're in the minority here of, like, oh, dude, like, I'm trying to be conscious. If somebody says, oh, they found dinosaur fossils somewhere, I think of, okay, this is a feathered creature, right? Because, like, automatically I just assume this is giant scaly creature, like a lizard or reptile. It's like, oh, dude, that's not what's up.
Yeah. It's kind of wild, ain't it?
Trippy stuff, man. So history's written by the winners, man. So, like, where we're at as a result of like what UFOs are is just like, well, I don't, I'm sure there's a lot more to it. And to Sasquatch, who knows? Maybe somebody has cracked this a long time ago, and it's similar to, like, UFO disclosure. Like, God, dude, we can't let people know that there's interdimensional hominids living side by side with us, because it would freak everybody out. We need to just keep telling everybody, oh, no, dude, that's a myth. It's a legend. It's not true. Right. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes me think things like, with these state parks or national forests and national parks, are they doing this to preserve nature for us to go and enjoy from afar, stay on the boardwalks and just look at it? Or is there something about that land, something there on that land that they're trying to protect and preserve? Like, even when you're talking about pandemonium, is that not inside of a protected land, right? It's inside like a state forest or a state park.
Yep.
And there's just something weird about the grass won't hardly even grow there. Everything stays a certain way. It's just odd how, Yellowstone, chock full of Bigfoot. There's 1,000 reports about that kind of stuff. All these cave systems and stuff happen to be falling in line with these national forests and national parks. We have 1 million acres in West Virginia protected in one system.
That's insane.
1 million acres. It's the Monongahela National Forest. It's like 999,000 and some odd acres of protected land.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so massive.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? I have almost 2 acres at my house, and I'm like, my yard is big. And think about
the human brain, dude, we have trouble scaling
up
we
stuff
do. Like that. Like, you're talking about dinosaurs for like hundreds of millions of years. It's like, dude, if humans say like the last 100,000, 70,000 years, it's been like Homo sapien or whatever, at least.
Yeah.
Bro, we have just gone from like no electricity and outhouses to being
Internet.
able, for me being down at the beach, giving you a decent feed in audio from my car outside of Starbucks to conduct a podcast in 100 years. Like, my great grandmother, she, God rest her soul, but like, she lived through the Great Depression, right? On like a little farm down in North Carolina, I believe. And it's like, bro, I can't even comprehend what
that lifestyle,
like what that was, and that, like, nobody complained. That was life. Like, think about how we would be.
We're savages to the people 50 years from now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So again, 50 years from now, man, quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, all these different things might just be common. Oh, dude, you just plug this into this and press this button. You guys couldn't do that before? You and
Yeah.
go from here to Mars, like, or here to Zeta Reticuli. How could you guys not do that? So, or yeah, dude. So, oh man, it's crazy. It's neat. I love having these discussions and you talking about 1 million acres because, right, man, I honestly don't think my head can really wrap around what 1 million acres looks like.
Yeah, enormous. And West Virginia is not that big of a state, so it's a large swath of our state. But then again,
Yeah.
like 79 to 80% of West Virginia is under canopy. It's under forest, treetop. So, we're a pretty wild
that's
state
crazy.
anyway, but yeah, 1 million acres is huge.
I went on a bunch of hikes while we were staying at that national forest, but like they're all, trails. They're established trails, but like you would go out, it's like a three mile trail. And like, I don't know, 5 minutes in, you're like, there ain't shit around me. Like this is just trees and it doesn't seem like there's anything around me. And it's so isolating feeling. Now take that and go 500,000 miles out into the middle of that forest.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. And like the Pacific Northwest, you were talking about, places that people don't travel, don't explore.
Yeah.
Don't see. How many, a couple of dozen planes are yet to be found that have crashed in there?
Yep.
But they go down and they can't find a plane. So how can anybody say that we've explored it all, that Bigfoot couldn't exist, that
DB Cooper's probably out there kicking it with Bigfoot right now. Didn't he jump in the Pacific North? I can't remember.
He did something like that. Took that money with him.
Yeah, took that money, dipped. Nobody ever found him.
That's right. DB Cooper, Jimmy Hoffa, and Sasquatch.
Yeah. I think Jimmy Hoffa is on. Isn't he? Was it East Rutherford? Is he under the Giant State or one of those stadiums? I thought.
Who knows, man.
We're getting way far away from Sasquatch.
So what made you guys land on Sasquatch for this one? Is it because we've done ghosts, we've done aliens, now let's do surf and turf, let's do Sasquatch?
Sort of. I mean, I think Sue Walker also, in doing the conscious contact full disclosure with her, had at one point mentioned Sasquatch, and it obviously is the natural thing to go to when we're talking about supernatural stuff, and a lot of people are interested in it. And I wasn't that familiar with them. Like, I mean, I've watched some shows, obviously watched some movies with Sasquatch stuff, and I know the general like legend that's been told through media. So it was really interesting for me when we started diving into this thing to get like experiencers stories, because it was a little different than what I was expecting, and I learned a lot about Sasquatch and a lot of the common things people talk about with them, and the way their like family structure kind of works, or what they think works. Like Sue revealed some interesting information about them that was kind of funny, but also really interesting about like the chokeweed and stuff. I don't want to spoil too much.
That was good.
But it makes sense too, right? Like,
it does.
It's weird because, like, the plant marijuana or cannabis is what we're talking about. Like, there's such a stigmatism here with the government crackdown on it and all that kind of stuff. But it's a natural growing plant, and like, Native American cultures and stuff have obviously imbibed for years and years and years before it's become outlawed. So it would only make sense for like a hominid creature also too. But yeah, that kind of stuff. I was like, oh yeah, it was just, I guess, getting into those nitty gritty details of something. Cause it was like, from the surface, I'm always like, yeah, it's just like this big hairy ape that lives in the woods. I've seen Harry and the Hendersons and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that was my like thought going into it. And then hearing everybody with all these details is really interesting.
Nice. Yeah. Bigfoot community, just a heads up, man, if y'all don't know, it is a cutthroat place to live. I'm very interested to see how it's received.
Yeah.
There's the people that believe, observe and report. There's another camp that says we need a body, it has to be shot and brought in, and that, that's just two camps. That divides the Bigfoot community by itself. Then there's the flesh and blood versus the spiritual camp.
Yep.
It's just there's so many theories, and everybody clings to them like almost like a religion at this point.
Yeah. Well, and we've definitely experienced that with the other stuff too. Like people have their rigid mindsets about stuff like this, and when you explore different avenues, you're going to upset certain communities and certain kinds of people. And you know what? We just say we're making it, and you either keep an open mind and enjoy it, or you don't, and that's fine. Our goal is to just kind of tell these people's stories in a really interesting and compelling way. We're not trying to force a specific narrative or our opinions on this. Right. We're hoping to provide a bunch of different opinions, but also in doing so, show some of the patterns along the way. Because for me, this applies to a lot of things, and especially nowadays with social media. When you get like somebody who gets called out for being canceled for allegedly doing something or whatever, if there's like one person doing it, it's like, I don't know, like there's probably maybe more to the story. But when tons of people, when there's a pattern established in this kind of thing, it's way more credible. It's way more believable. And so when we get these people that are just, semi-random, like they don't know each other, yet they tell their stories and they talk about similar subject matter. Sure, it's in their own words and maybe differently described, but also similar when you think about it. That's where someone like me who's skeptical is a little bit more interested, because it's like, well, how does this person over here had this experience and this person way across the world had this experience, and yet they're talking about very similar things that happened to them? That definitely adds more credibility to me.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that your documentary captures. It's not like you guys just grabbed a few people and threw them on here to talk. You actually covered pretty much each view of Sasquatch. And there's and Tyler, you said, you're going to learn something new if you watch it. I did. I've been into Bigfoot as long as I can remember. I love it. But I've heard things on there that I hadn't heard anywhere else.
That's awesome.
And that's rare. You know what I mean? Like you're bringing something new. I love it. I enjoyed it.
Dude, that fills our hearts. And dude, it just really reinforces at least my belief, and maybe Chris, is that, man, a lot of this stuff feels like fate, because Chris and I, like, we're not big Sasquatch enthusiasts personally. We don't consume a ton of Sasquatch, Bigfoot books, documentaries. We just or the different TV series, like we just don't. So I don't know. I love that you said, man, we covered all these different aspects. Like we do. I mean, we're certainly into all these different things that we're exploring and investigating. But one of the purposes of us doing is, like Chris said, let these people share their stories and their experiences, and we can learn this stuff along the way.
Yeah.
But so it's wild. Like, dude, it's cool to hear you say that, almost as if we watched a lot of Bigfoot content and said, okay, we can't do it like these other people. We need to do it like ourselves. And dude, it's great. Chris and I, we skipped that first part, and we just been doing ourselves since we started Docside Media. Like after a month, I remember telling Chris, bro, we got to stop trying to be the next Quentin Tarantino or Kevin Smith. We got to be the first Tyler Transu and Chris Rupert.
Love it.
That's what we need to be.
Yeah.
And man, because through following that, it's just awesome that Chris is finishing up our 4th documentary. We're going to film the 5th. Dude, Richard Doty just sent me a friend request on Facebook. Yeah. Dude, like my life's, my life's good. Like this is crazy stuff that I would have never even fathomed put on a 5-10 year. Just not even on a bucket list. And so it feels like, man, we're just kind of being guided through all this, and we just stay open to going where we feel led.
Yeah, and maybe I said that wrong when I said we don't we don't bring a narrative. That's not necessarily true. Like we don't bring a storyline to any of this stuff, but we do bring our opinions and how it's formed. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, we will have an interview with someone, and then we'll be like, we should get somebody who, maybe is an anthropologist or somebody like that, because they'll provide a different viewpoint on this stuff. So we do have those kind of conversations. We don't tell anyone what to talk about or what to say. Like we might be like, well, what was your experience with this kind of thing? Once they tell us something, you know what I mean? Just to kind of get them to give more detail. That's about it though. And so like we approach this stuff with what I think is interesting, what I think is compelling. So there's an aspect of, I don't know if you want to call it style or, like directorial choices being made that brings this stuff to light in the way that we showcase it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we don't consume documentaries. We don't consume a lot of this stuff. So what you're seeing is just like Tyler and I's particular style showcasing these people's stories, if that makes sense.
Well, you do a great job at it, guys.
Thanks, dude. That means a lot. That's awesome.
For real. It everything flows. I like how you had Sue in Conscious Contact and brought her back, for Secrets of Sasquatch. I like having that, it's like a little bit of a flow, a little continuity, mm-hmm. like, and she's so cool,
She's so cool.
To have her on, man. She is.
I would love to have her on here. She's just so matter of fact about it.
She'll come on. Yeah, no problem.
She is, and just down to earth and dude, just an all around nice person. I interviewed Richard Doty for In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community and UFOs, and long story short, yeah, I mean, we filmed at Sue's house, like just the way logistics and everything worked out. I'm like, oh man, like it was just, I don't want to get too much into it, but basically I'm just like, hey Sue, any chance if I come out to your area, would you mind if I stop by for a few hours and bring in Richard Doty? I don't know if you know him, and dude, so I mean, her and Reverend Otter just kind of they're just super nice. And it's not like I'm talking to her every day, every week. I mean, it was like, man, I hadn't talked to her for months, right? Yes. Months. Yeah. And reached out. She's like, oh yeah, absolutely. When are you coming in? You can stay out in our A-frame camper or whatever outside. And I'm like, oh no, I'm getting in I forget late. I'm driving the car through the night down to Roswell just so I can get some official B-roll footage of Roswell. It's I mean, you're not going to see much. I'm like, I know, but there's a sign that says Roswell, right? And there's a UFO. There's like, I don't care. In my heart, I'm within 3.5 hour drive, whatever it was, 4-hour drive of Roswell. I'm going to go there. Okay.
Nice. Yes.
And so I just drove through the night, parked, slept for 2 hours in the car, woke up at sunrise, flew the drone, dog. And then, still, hey, I'm on my way back. Stopped in, did the interview with Richard Doty, 2 p.m. back to the airport to hop on the flight. Like, dude, bro, I'm in and out less than 24 hours or whatever. Very little sleep, but that's how this stuff gets built, man.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
You're after it, man.
So dude, Sue would absolutely love to come on, and you would just, like I said, I love going to see her because she just reminds me of my grandma. Like I tell people, like, if she didn't talk about telepathy with the Ponte extraterrestrials, and if she didn't talk about Sasquatch, like, dude, she's super into horticulture and garden, like all the, like, she would just be your grandma. You would be like, she's just the most just hospitable, genuine, down to earth person who just happens to have these, this extra set of skills or abilities. And so, yeah, dude, that's cool that you liked that we had her in both. It just felt natural and like, yeah, Chris said we
do worry about that sometimes. Like, we love Sue and stuff, and we love all these people we have on our documentaries, and sometimes it's like, well, they could come back and talk about this because they've mentioned that subject matter, but it's like, we do worry about, like, the redundancy of this stuff. Is Is it going to wear on our viewers and stuff like that? But I think we made definitely the right choice with having Sue back on for Secrets of the Sasquatch. She just provides like this really interesting viewpoint.
Yeah, she does. And yeah, that's the thing. I want to talk about certain things, but it hasn't, it's not out yet. So
yeah,
I'll just wait. But yeah, she talked about some things that I had just spoken to someone last week about.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So it's cool. And I haven't released that episode yet either. So all of it has to wait, I guess. It's okay. It's all right.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't know how many times we've gone on a podcast where somebody's like, I just watched your movie. And it's weird because I just had a conversation with somebody and it's like this weird, synchronicity going on.
Yeah, we've stumbled upon that a lot. And so that's what makes me, dude, who's to say we're not in a simulation? I mean, is this not all working out kind of better than we could have scripted it? Like it really is. All these little fortuitous events, man. Like, I mean, here since you brought up, we'll give you this nugget, little gem. Since you brought up that you liked the continuity between Sue Walker and Conscious Contact, Full Disclosure, and Secrets of the Sasquatch. So Tom Carey,
yep,
he is also in Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community, and UFOs. Nice. And here's what's up. We had the interview scheduled for Tom Carey for In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community, and UFOs. We go down there, we interview him for that. Afterwards, we're like, it's revealed whatever that he's into Sasquatch. He's an anthropologist. We're cutting this doc, Secrets of the Sasquatch. Tom, anyway, we could get you to sit over in this chair. We'll change the lighting, switch outfits, get different camera angles, and so again, like we had said from the beginning, man, for Secrets of the Sasquatch, we really need like an anthropologist. We need somebody that's degreed. I just, I love all the other experiences and stories that we've got from telepaths and hunters and woodsmen. And I love Alfred Martinez out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Again, big hunt, like just met the guy. It's like, oh dude, yeah. Love that man. He just kept feeding me. He wouldn't let me leave without eating. I can't remember what the dish is, but some Mexican dish that I just really eat Mexican food. But dude, he's just like good people's where, I'm like, oh man, I can't eat anymore. Oh, no. You have to eat at least, and he just kept shoving them into me. And I'm like, oh dude, I got to get on a plane here shortly. And I'm going to end up shitting myself at 30,000 feet. So man, I lost my train of thought from where we were at. But,
no, it was weird synchronicity. Like, the fact that like he's an anthropologist, like we didn't know that
for the doc, and we're there, and this comes up, and it's like, dude, we this is like this is what we needed, and it was so perfect, man. And there's Docside Media, our brief, August 16th here will be like our 1 year anniversary. So we haven't even been doing this for a year together. Dude, yeah, it's amazing. All these synchronicities and little nudges that we get.
Well, let's talk about
that put these together.
Talking about amazing. You guys have done 5, right? You're doing your 5th doc.
We're doing our 5th right now, yeah.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
You guys are hustlers, man. Most people do like 1 a year or 1 every other year.
Yeah, if you're not a filmmaker, I don't think you understand quite the amount of effort and work it takes. Like I just shot a short film on Sunday, and it just is like unbelievably tiring, like physically and mentally. Just to like I shot an 8-page short film. It took 12 hours. I was so tired. It's just so much work involved in this kind of stuff, but like you do it, and it's so. For me, I guess you have to have that drive where you really have the passion for it, because when you overcome those hurdles and those struggles, and you don't have the footage you wanted, but you somehow make it work in the edit, it's like so fulfilling to me. So like as soon as we get done with one, I'm like, what's next? Let's get going. Like I want to keep this going, even though it is a lot of work. It's what I like doing. So yeah, that's why we do it, right? We have a passion for it. Yeah.
And man, it's like fun, man. And I just feel really grateful. I try and remain grateful. It's like, man, when I'm doing these things, I'm like, bro, on the Gettysburg battlefield, talking to this telepath or this medical intuitive, this person who had helped like the FBI with missing person cases, like like
unreal.
Like just dude, with Richard Doty, right? Former counterintelligence officer for the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. And retired CIA officer John Ramirez, interviewed him for In Plain Sight, the intelligence community, and the Tom Carey guy, who we had. I mean, dude, he's written. Was this his 12th that just came out?
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Book on Roswell. Alone, he is an expert on Roswell. He's interviewed over 600 first and secondhand witnesses, like, to the Roswell crash, man.
Right.
So I just always am like, dude, this is just insane that I'm even doing this. And so I don't know. It just gives me some.
No,
yeah. I was just gonna say, and I do like this camp out that we're gonna do at this haunted cemetery. Man, I don't mind being without like all these conveniences and getting very little sleep. And like hustling and working through the night, and just, man, daylight's coming up, and it's like, cool, we just got that last interview or that last segment we need. All right, now let's drink some coffee and we got to get this going, whatever it like, because man, it really makes me appreciate like sleeping in my bed like the next night, and just appreciate like, bro, there's homeless people doing this. Like for all those secrets of the Sasquatch campouts, man, it's like 26 degrees Fahrenheit, middle of winter, along a river. When I was with Randy Smith, that one's along a river, dude. To your point about just being a hunter and fisherman, bro, you would probably be the same out there, no gloves, just rebaiting stuff, messing with wet lines and you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, my fingers are hurting, and I got gloves on. And he's just one of those, I don't know, like those hands are just so hardened and calloused or whatever from years of hard work and stuff. But yeah, dude, but there's homeless people that are going through that like stuff every single night of their life, man. So like, who am I like to bitch about, being cold or sleeping on a bumpy ground or whatever it is, or just being hot. It's like, oh, dude, we're very fortunate, man.
For sure.
So
I like y'all.
That's why we have so much fun with it, and that's how, that's why we just keep going. And these other ideas, man, we got. We'll also be filming here after the Ghost in the Graveyard Pure Pandemonium. We'll be filming like In a Past Life. Which we're doing reincarnation and like
past life regression,
and whatnot.
Okay. Man.
Which is going to be sick. And then I think I'm trying to go to remote viewing and get that done. I know Richard Doty has a lot of experience on that.
I would say so. That's some men who stare at goats stuff right there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're trying to, we just keep throwing that out into the universe as well. And we're going to manifest a remote viewing. We don't have a title for that one yet. But yeah, dude, we're going to keep sending docs your way, bro. If you'll keep having us on, we'll keep sending them.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Y'all come on anytime. Is there anything that we still need to cover? I know you guys got another show coming up. I got another show coming up in a few minutes too.
No.
Yep.
No, I mean, I would just say, thanks, Bo, for always having us on here, talking with us. We appreciate you. Appreciate you checking out our movies. We usually have blast here. So, Yeah, no, I would just say, if any of this stuff sounds interesting to you, Conscious Contact Full Disclosure is out now. It's on Amazon, iTunes, Google, Xbox, PlayStation, YouTube. You can rent it, you can buy it, and so is The Ghosts of Gettysburg. But then coming out here July 5th will be The Secrets of the Sasquatch in all those same places. And so we encourage you to go check it out and then leave a review so we know what you guys think, if you like it or not. We want to hear your opinions. It means the world to us to have people just check out whatever you're putting out in the universe there. So Secrets of the Sasquatch out July 5th, and Bo will be back.
That's right. Sooner
rather than later to talk about In Plain Sight, the intelligence community and UFOs.
Yes, yeah, I can't wait.
We'll get you a cut. We'll get you a cut here shortly,
sweet, man.
quick as Chris gets her finished up.
Sweet, I look forward.
And dude, real quick, let me pat Chris on the back with his editing, and me with the filming, and Chris with the filming. He's helped out on some of these interviews. But real quick, dude, we feel it's dope that between Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, The Ghost of Gettysburg, Secrets of the Sasquatch, production value.
Oh yeah.
And we feel like we have high production value from the beginning, but like we're always trying to get better and thinking of new things, new ways to film, different ways to incorporate B-roll. And so I think it's cool. Hopefully as people get behind us and watch these docs, they're like, wow, dude, these guys keep getting better and better and better. And we're not stopping. We're gonna keep
man.
going.
Yeah, and, about your B-roll and stuff like that. Instead of just having like a static image that you just sit there and look at the woods, you guys have someone out there. You got that the Sasquatch suit, strutting by, or you got that crazy alien suit.
Both of those are Adam Hartwick from Shadow Alley Productions. He's a friend of ours. Dude, I love this guy. He's such a cool dude. He actually sent me, for this short film I filmed on Sunday, he overnighted me one of his masks and arms, and these things cost like $1,500 total. Like he just overnighted the mail to me to let me use it for my short film. But he built that custom Sasquatch suit for all our B-roll. This thing was insane looking. Like this was like Harry and the Hendersons level production quality. Like when we were standing next to him, and he's a big dude. He's like 6'2" or 6'3". He towers above a lot of people. Yeah. It's like there's a freaking Sasquatch there. We had people come up. We had this dude come up who had a bird, and his bird flew on him, and it was just the weirdest. Where we got he also brought he hurt his back, so he bought these electric scooters. So we're riding down the trail as he's dressed as Sasquatch on it's just insane stuff. I love it. So yeah, like Tyler said, we're just lucky to be doing this and appreciative of everything. So we won't keep any more of your time though, Bo. Thanks again for having us, dude. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks again for coming on, guys. You all have a good night. Stay safe. Yeah, God bless. Good luck in the future.
Thanks, man. Same for you, dude.
Thanks, bro.
Later, brother.
Keep crushing it, man.
You too, bro. Thanks.
Peace.